Mrs. Lindquist here. So today we're going to talk more about angles in the unit circle. So when we talk about angles in standard position, the initial side refers to the ray on the positive x-axis. So this side right here in pink would be the initial side of the angle. So the terminal side is the other ray where you end. So you can see this ray right here in green is the terminal side of the angle in standard position. So the orange shows the angle that's being swept out. So here is an example of what 36 degrees counterclockwise would look like. So again, we start here at 0 degrees, the pink ray, and then we go up about 36 degrees. And again, we're just going to estimate when we make our drawings. 315 degrees counterclockwise, we would count around. This is 0 degrees. Up here would be 90, 180, 270, and then 315 would land us right there. And then if they talk about going clockwise, 150 degrees clockwise is actually going, this would be 0 degrees, this would be negative 90 degrees, and this would be the negative 150 right here. Okay, so in example 1, it says find the measure of the following angles in standard position. So we know that our initial ray is at 0 degrees. And here our terminal ray, you might know it already. If you think about going around the circle, this is 90 degrees, 180, and we're landing at 270 degrees. So this angle would be 270 degrees in standard position. Okay, let's look at example B. So our initial side here is at 0 degrees. And they want to know what this dark blue angle is here. So, and they're telling us this little piece right here, the light blue, from here to here is 25 degrees. So how are we going to find this angle swept out? Well, we know from here to here is 90 degrees. And so we're going to have to add another 25 degrees to get to our terminal location. So we're just going to add 90 degrees plus 25 degrees. So this angle will be 115 degree rotation counterclockwise. So how about example C? So this angle here is 20 degrees, but they want to know this dark blue one. Do you know how to figure that out? Well, we know that if we go all the way around our circle, we are going to be 360 degrees. So basically we're taking 360 degrees and we're subtracting this 20 degrees. So 360 degrees minus 20 degrees is going to leave us with 340 degrees. However, we're starting at 0 degrees and we're going around this circle clockwise. So this would be a negative 90, this would be a negative 180, a negative 270. So our final location will actually be a negative 340 degrees, which means clockwise. So positive angle measures actually measure counterclockwise around the circle, and negative angle measures measure clockwise. In example 2, it says sketch each angle in standard position. So saying that, we know that our initial side should be on the positive x-axis. So you should draw a ray from the origin out to the right. Okay, so here's our initial ray, and that's at 0 degrees. And we want to go 85 degrees in standard position. Well, we know if we go all the way to the top of the y-axis, this is 90 degrees. And we're not going to use a protractor here to measure angles, so we're going to say that 85 degrees is just a little bit shy of 90. So you can draw your terminal side about like right there. Okay, so we can say this is an 85 degree rotation. How about example B for negative 320 degrees? Well, again, we know our initial side is here at 0 degrees. And again, negative 320 degrees is actually going clockwise. So we're at 0 degrees, and this is negative, so we're going to be going in the clockwise direction. This would be negative 90 degrees, negative 180 degrees, negative 270, and we need to find negative 320. Well, we know negative 315 would be halfway in between, so negative 320 would be just a little bit further. So maybe from here to here, we would go say that that would be, so this angle right here would be a negative 320 degree rotation. Go ahead and try out C. So pause the video and draw an angle that's 180 degrees. So did you get something that looks like a straight line? So again, this is 0 degrees, 90, and 180 makes half of the circle. So here would be an angle of 180 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to define what are coterminal angles. Coterminal angles are angles that have the same terminal ray or side. So here we can see that 135 degrees starts here at 0 and it ends up in this location right here. But we also can see that if we go clockwise, negative 225 degrees, we also end up in this same location. So how do you find coterminal angles? How do we know that going 135 degrees this way is the same as going negative 225 degrees clockwise? Well, if you add these two up, they do add up to 360 degrees, which is once around the circle. So to find coterminal angles, you're going to add or subtract multiples of 360 degrees. And you can do this as many times as you want, because remember, going 360 degrees around this circle one more time is still going to put us in the same location. I can keep adding 360 degrees and I'm back to where I started from. So here we can see if we take negative 225 degrees and we add a multiple of 360 degrees, it is going to give us 135 degrees. So again, if I wanted another coterminal angle, I could add another 360 degrees and I could add it again repeatedly. Or likewise, I could subtract. All right, so example 3 says find the measure of an angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees coterminal with each angle. So here we have a negative angle measure of 150 degrees, and I just highlighted the terminal side of this ray. If we wanted to get an angle coterminal with negative 150 degrees, we know that we can add a multiple of 360. So if we add a multiple of 360, we are going to get 210 degrees. So this angle, if I were to go counterclockwise 210 degrees, I would also end up in the same location. All right, so let's look at example B. So we're looking to find an angle coterminal with 464 degrees that is between 0 and 360. Well, obviously, if we want this to be lower, we are going to have to subtract out a multiple of 360 degrees. So if we subtract the multiple of 360 degrees from 464, we're going to end up with 104 degrees. So 104 degrees would be considered to be coterminal or end up in the same location as an angle measure of 464 degrees. So go ahead and try out problem C and see what you come up with. Okay, so since negative 176 degrees is less than 360, we are going to add a multiple of 360 degrees. So if we add a multiple of 360 degrees, we are going to be at 184 degrees. So that is between 0 and 360. So we know our angle is going to terminate in quadrant 3. It's a little bit past 180 degrees. Okay, you'll find example 4 on the next video where we look at coterminal angles on the unit circle.